Hello everyone, I am Q'd, and I want to talk about a new feature just got added to an app that I like a lot and I've talked about a good bit on this channel. And it got added in the latest update for LumaFusion, which is an app that allows you to edit your videos on an iPhone and iPad. It is a full-fledged video editor. No funny business. There aren't a whole lot of things that are missing, but there is a feature that I've been wanting for a while. I've been asking for it for a while, and they finally added it. And this new feature allows you to have the ability to use blending modes in your video editing process. And blending modes are essentially a way to overlay your videos in a variety of unique ways. It's something I even talked about in my tutorial for VideoLeap, which is another app that is particularly focused on mobile visual effects, which is something that I've enjoyed diving into in a deeper way here. Blending modes are nothing new on mobile. This has been around since Fused in like 2014. This has been a thing you've been able to do. However, I would say that blending modes have been missing from a lot of fully fledged video editing applications. Blending modes being added to LumaFusion might create an opportunity to really optimize the process and not have to go to a bunch of different apps to get this done. So I want to go over blending modes in the app and see how they work with some footage that I've shot of my own that I shot today, and see just how practical and how useful this feature will be. This is exciting. This is exciting. Okay, so the first step is to just open LumaFusion and create a new project. I'm going to call this something like blending mode test, and we're going to change the frame rate to 24 since that's the original frame rate of the clip, and we got a 16:9 aspect ratio. Next, I'm going to navigate to the favorites folder where I've got my clip, because I shot a few clips like this and I just needed to keep track of that, and got that in here. Now we're going to go back to videos where I got my other effects, and we're going to start with this one. And the minute I add a new effect, it just blocks it out, because this is normally what you get from LumaFusion. It's a separate layer, and you normally can't see multiple layers at the same time unless you slightly lower the opacity or if you crop it in a certain way. I'm just going to go ahead and double tap this, and once I hide the size and position window, I can see the blending window. Tap that, and I've got opacity so I can adjust how visible it is. But now I've got blending modes, and this is cool. I can see all the different blending modes. So if I click screen, now I can see the effect that I have right on top of the clip. That's cool. Okay, now I want to add more effects. So I'm just going to drag this here. And this is a little bit smaller, so I'm going to have to resize it. I'm going to have to get that accurate. Luckily with blending modes, I can see what I'm doing now, and I can get that precise. So we're going to go something like, I think that is like kind of where it's at. Cool. And then we're just going to lower the opacity significantly, just so that it's only ever so slightly visible. All right. And now we've got that too. That's okay. Okay, I like this. I like this workflow. This is already a lot easier than having to go into a separate app to try and get everything blended, then export that back in here. Like, this is pretty speedy. Okay, let's drag this one here now. All right. And I'm also going to have to resize the clip, but I'm just going to go ahead and adjust the opacity a little bit and adjust the blending mode, and then adjust the size. So let's see. Okay, that's not bad. Now, this is where you can get really creative, and also where you can begin to refine what you got. This is not refined at all. This is very rough. We've just done this in a couple of minutes already, but that's how quick and easy it is to do this with this feature. This is pretty great. And if you want to get a little bit more ambitious, you can. I mean, you could even re-export from here and then be just adding the blending modes all in the same app without having to even go to another app. And that doesn't necessarily seem like a huge improvement at first, just talking about it, but when you really get into the nitty-gritty and you get editing, that can really make a huge difference. Having that ease of use and the flexibility, the efficiency of that type of optimized process, that means a lot to me, because it means that I'm not chasing my tail in an endless effort to get what I'm wanting. I can just live at home in LumaFusion and call it a day. There are going to be times when I'm going to want to use other apps, bring other apps into the mix, but having things start to get a little bit more focused with my workflow is already a massive improvement. So just to see the difference, if I hide all of those and then make them more visible gradually, that's really cool and so easy. I feel like that doesn't require much effort at all, and that's really crazy. Like, I'm so used to spending so much time getting that, and then in a couple of minutes, wow. Okay. I guess I can go ahead and color grade the base layer here. And I can just navigate to the star point. I've got a batch of color correction and color grading presets that are saved together, so I can just tap one, and I've got a little bit of my look right here. And this is nice because, you know, the color correction and color grading process really helps. It really does complement this now, and I'm really starting to see what the final version of this video would look like. And I still have to sync my audio with the video, but this is just so cool. Like, it's so simple, and I can go in. I'm kind of wanting to dial down the intensity of this layer here, so I can just go back and just do that. That's so easy. That's really easy, and that's awesome. Now, there is something that is missing, and that is the ability to mask this layer. I can't really mask any of the overlays that I have, and that can be a problem if I'm wanting to have complete control over my layers. So that's something that I think if they could add, that would be great. This means I'm just gonna have to implement workarounds to get around this. It still takes a good amount of time, and with things like video clip, you don't have to do that because you could just create a mask for your video layers. So in the future, it could be worth exploring different ways to allow people to mask whatever layers now that the blending modes exist. But this is a really great start, and this is already going to save a lot of time, I think. I don't know, I was expecting this to be harder, so I planned to make this elaborate video, but this is really simple. You can do this in a couple of minutes if you've got your effects and if you've got your footage to match and stack with that. So this is a really, really great feature that they've added, and this can allow you to do some really, really cool stuff now within the program, stuff that you honestly needed other apps to do before now. So before we wrap up this demo, I want to add a couple more layers just to see how far I can really push this new feature, just because this demo has gone by so quickly, and I really want to make sure that I'm really showing the fullest extent of what you can really do with the blending modes in LumaFusion. So I'm going to add a couple of new layers, and I've got them here. I'm going to add that one as well, and then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to double tap that like I have all the other layers, and then select screen. Cool, so now it's overlaid on top of this other kind of signature effect of mine I like to use in most of my beat videos. I also used this effect in my short film as well, and I just like playing around with this, it's fun. So now I've got it here, and then what I want to do is I obviously want to color correct it a little bit to get it to match. Then what I want to do is I want to rearrange it. So we're going to drag that there. Then I want to get that same kind of effect going on the other sort of set of effects here. And I also want that chain of effects to happen for the next set of pads that I'm playing with, something like this. So we're going to hover over this, and the moment I tap the orange pad, I want this new effect to show up. And then I can just scrub along here, rearrange, maybe we got something like that. And I still need to trim the effects because they're a little too long, but I think this gives a much better idea of what you can really do with these blending modes and how they can just be so seamlessly implemented in your process. This is really simple. So now that that's arranged, I'm gonna mute each track here, and I want to also cut off all of the unnecessary space before here, so we're going to just trim that. Then I can go grab the track that I want to use. I'm going to go imported, go to other app, and we're going to bring that in here. And then I just want to time it right on there. We're going to drag that to the moment I start tapping the pad. Okay, let's preview this. Okay. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. So that's basically how these blending modes work in LumaFusion, and if I tweak them a little bit more, I can really arrive at something that really represents what I'm envisioning in my head, and I can do it all in one place. Overall, I'm very happy with the addition of this feature, and I'm excited to play around with it more to see how far I can really push it. But again, this just really compounds my belief that we're really about to see some really great stuff for mobile video as we enter this new decade. There's a lot that I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see a lot of evolution in this space, especially considering that we've been so caught up with seeing mobile catch up to the computer and to desktop that I don't know that we've really explored what mobile can do uniquely that maybe the computer can't quite do. I don't know, maybe. Like, I think that that's a very interesting prospect, and I have some ideas of things I'd like to see. But I am watching this space with great interest, and I am very curious to see where creative tech goes in the next 10 years and where this fits, if it fits anywhere in that space. So as always, I hope you all enjoyed the video and that it was helpful in some way. Definitely let me know what you thought of it, if it was helpful, or if there are some other things you'd like to see me talk about specifically with this app or with any others. Also, thank you all for being patient with me during this break. I got hit with a lot of ideas all at once and really needed to take some time to kind of focus on them and give them the attention that they kind of required from me. Also, I needed to recharge, and I'm thinking that on this channel, this might be a bit of a pattern where I go several months sharing videos and then I need to take several weeks to kind of break and really recharge. That way I can keep the material fresh and at a decent level of quality, because if I try and force any videos, what I notice with me is that the videos end up being completely unusable. There have been a few times actually recently where I've tried doing this and I had to completely scrap the videos because I wasn't feeling it, and I feel like y'all will notice if that's happening, so I'm not going to try and force it. I want to make sure that I keep it as organic as possible. That's probably just going to be the best type of workflow for me, so thanks in advance for your patience and your support as well. Any likes, comments, and subscriptions, they really help kind of push these videos to more people I'm seeing, so I really appreciate all the support that y'all have been giving me. And like I mentioned, I'm really excited for this new decade because I'm going to be learning some new things and documenting that process, which will be really scary because I'm going to be completely out of my comfort zone there. This is all necessary for me to learn if I want to really move into these new fields that I'm wanting to move into over the next several years. A lot of things I want to do, a lot of things I want to make and share with people, and I kind of have to learn those things in order to do that. So things on this channel are about to get really experimental. If there's nothing else, it'll be a fun adventure. Anyway, that's it for this video. So thanks so much for watching, y'all, and I will catch y'all later.